UFC Mexico, Lona Kavanagh vs Brandon Moreno went down last Saturday night. In this video, I'm going to go through the full card, recap every fight, give my picks, who each fighter should fight next, both the winners and the losers. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Main event, Lona Kavanagh vs Brandon Moreno. Obviously, I'm not going to get into the fighters. I think they should fight first straight away. However, I put for Kavanagh, Moreno, Albazi, and Moreno, Perez, and Almabayev. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about the fight first. Wow, what a performance from Lona Kavanagh. Who thought? I didn't think that was going to happen. That was literally the dream scenario for Kavanagh. Maybe if he'd have got a Moreno out there in the second with that flurry of shots he landed on him, rocked him, hurt him bad. But Brandon Moreno's a tough guy, one of the best tunes in the division, to be fair to him. That typical Mexican spirit to not get knocked out. However, let's just say, Brandon Moreno, you are now a terrorist of the sport. What you tried to do, in rounds 3, 4, and 5 to Lona Kavanagh is nothing but short of disgusting. That is what people blamed Mario Bautista for doing to Jose Aldo. Holding him against the cage, not looking to... He couldn't take him down, let's just say that. Kavanagh defended all the takedowns. That's where I thought he'd lose. I thought Moreno would be able to get him down where he didn't. And he just tried to hold him there for 3 straight rounds. And I'm so glad the judges didn't try to rob Lona Kavanagh. I heard those scorecards, 48-47. I was like, oh my god, they're going to give it Moreno. It's in Mexico. But no, thankfully, they used their brains and noticed that Kavanagh was piecing him up on the feet every exchange. Moreno would only try and hold him against the cage and fail takedowns miserably. Incredible performance from Kavanagh. Looks fucking insane on the feet. The takedown defense was a worry. He's passed that test with flying colours. Yes, he's not fought a Tatsuro Taira or a guy like that in the division yet. That's all due to come in due time. I thought the gas tank was incredible as well. Everyone thought he was going to gas. In very good cardio. And he also tucked his chin very well. This is an incredible improvement. He's only 26, I think, Lona Kavanagh. So he's still learning, only young, only going to get better. And we need to see him near the top. However, I don't think we should rush him too soon. There's a clear logjam at the top of the division with guys like Pantoja, Cap, Tyra, all deserving of shots. So Kavanagh's going to have to wait a while before he gets near that. So that's why I put Royval and Albazi. If they want to put him in the deep end straight away again after Moreno, I know Moreno's no easy fight. Give him Brandon Royval, that'll be a real war on the feet. And if he wins that, he could jump the line for a title shot. Or put himself in title shot eliminator guarantee bouts. Or you could slow it down a bit. Give him Amir Albazi. Let him build the resume up. He would easily beat Amir Albazi. Piece him up on the feet, defend the takedowns. But whatever the UFC want to do, I think it'd be a great fight with either guy. Kavanagh could get a finish against Albazi, or he could go to war with Royval, and it'd be similar to the Joshua Van fight. But nevertheless, very fucking impressive from Lona Kavanagh. Now we get to the loser, Brandon Moreno. Not a good look at all. It's just showing that he can't hang with the new guard. Tyra and Kavanagh beating him as of late. So for him, we need to give him. That's obviously a major step down. I know that's quite funny to say as Kavanagh was unranked. Either rebook the fight with Almabayev, which is meant to be the main event, or maybe give him Alex Perez. Give Perez a warranted jump up after that great win against Johnson. If you look through the rankings, the talent in this division drops off so heavily from number 5 downwards. You go from Royval and Albazi, then it goes Tim Elliott, Urseg, what's his fucking name? Ulanbekov. So Perez is the only guy really in the middle, and Almabayev. Give him one of them, put it on a fight night, main card or pay-per-view main card opener or prelims. Who cares really? That won't be a very entertaining fight. Brandon Moreno seems to have already declined. He's only 32. It's strange to see, but wow, that is a start in the making there, Lona Kavanagh. A real statement performance. And sad to see, Brandon Moreno is clearly on the downfall of his career. Let's get into the next fight. Our main event, David the Doctor Martinez versus Chito Vera. Pretty disappointing main event. My pick was bang on correct though, for me. Not good for Chito Vera at all. Same old Cheeto. Go out there, low output, get 2 rounds behind, then go in the third round, and then actually fight like you actually are in there to hurt him. And Cheeto Vera's rocking David Martinez towards the end of that fight, looked dangerous. Now, if there was a 5 rounder, maybe he would have gotten up there in the fourth and fifth, but you cannot fight 3 round fights like that. Cheeto Vera goes out there, low output rounds 1 and 2, puts himself in a near impossible chance to win scenario. You put yourself, you've got to go out there and KO or submit the guy in the third. It's not good enough from Cheeto Vera. He doesn't deserve to be near the top of the division when he performs like this. So for him, I've suggested any unranked guy that's on a couple of decent wins, like a Bashrat, a Wicklach, a Hauni Barcelos, just to give him a shot in the rankings. And this will also test us to see whether Cheeto Vera is good enough still. Now, he's looked very average in his last 4 fights, bar the O'Malley. Well, even the O'Malley fight, he was looked shit. He just doesn't throw enough. He doesn't throw any output. He then leaves it too late in the last. Even against O'Malley, he hurt O'Malley to the body in the last 10 seconds. If he threw more, Cheeto Vera fights like he doesn't have a chin. He arguably has the best chin in the whole weight class. He just needs to go and be a bit more wild out there, swing a bit more, throw some more. Very low output striker, and he's not powerful enough to fight that way, and he always finds himself losing these close decisions. So just give him any unranked guy, any of them three. Maybe if you want to give him a guy at the bottom of the rankings like a Montel Jackson, not that they really deserve it. Someone like that, just to test him, see if he's legit in the division or not anymore. And also give a good chance for a prospect to get a big name and a big resume, a big win on their resume like a Cheeto Vera. However, the winner, David Martinez, looked very impressive in that first round. Very fast, hard to hit, great footwork. However, he did kind of gas out and slow down a bit towards the second and the third, and Cheeto was hurting him to the body, landing a couple of nice shots at the end of the fight. However, the work he'd done in rounds 1 and 2 clearly won him the fight 29-28 or 30-27 even. So for him, let's not get too crazy on David Martinez. He doesn't look the best. He is good, top of the division-esque, you could say. So he deserves a guy around that 5 to 7 mark, like a Figueiredo, a Song Yadong, maybe a Bautista if they don't give him a high enough matchup, a highly ranked matchup. Someone like that just to test it. If you can go out there and dominate Song Yadong or Figueiredo, then that's very impressive considering them two are fought O'Malley and Umar. They've got 2 guys at the top of the division in their last fights. Not really much else to say. A close, pretty low output fight. David Martinez just outpaced Figueiredo. Cheeto Vera at the start. Cheeto actually looked like he wanted to fight in the third as always, and it was too late. David Martinez won a decision. Give Cheeto an unranked prospect. Give Martinez a guy around 5 to 7 like a Figueiredo or a Song Yadong. Feature fight. Bobby Green. Styling on Daniel Zahuba. We were all wrong. We laughed all week at people picking Daniel Zahuba. I mean, people picking Bobby Green just for Daniel Zahuba to go out there and look like he's never fucking had a fight, never had a training session in his life in MMA. What are you doing, bro? Bobby Green is nothing special. He's just a simple man in this division. He's just got a good jab. He can box. Let's just say that. Bobby Green can box. That's it. That's why Strickland's so good, because he can just do the basics right. And there's so many fighters with big prospect, big hype, like Zahuba, who cannot do the basics. And the basics beat these flashy skills all the time that aren't fully developed all the time. Bobby Green will beat Zahuba 100 times out of 100 because he's mastered the basics and he doesn't care about looking flashy. He just wants to go. He just goes out there and gets it done. Zahuba, very disappointing. I can't believe I picked him. In hindsight, the Bobby Green pick made sense. Bobby Green's only lost really as of late to Mauricio Rufy, which is not embarrassing at all, and Paddy Pimblett. Not bad losses at all. He's a crafty unk. There's still a bit in there, clearly. For that reason, you've got to keep feeding into prospects, and if you can beat these prospects, he deserves another shot in the rankings. I know it's been a few years now where he got destroyed by Jalen Turner as well. I remember that now. I apologise. I forgot to put him in there. So feed him to a prospect. If you want to give him to a real big prospect at the moment, give him Cowboy Fernandez, who definitely didn't beat the fuck out of Hardwick. That's AI. Or a guy coming off of a big loss. Nazim Sadikov got destroyed by Frez Yam. That's not embarrassing at all. Frez Yam is fucking incredible. but give him Bobby Green. Whether you like Bobby Green or not, he's a big name in the division. He may talk shit. Yes, his name is cringe as fuck. Do not call him King Green. That's not your name, mate. You can't. I never really like or agree with the changing your name. It's like I call myself Dilly. I then can't call myself John. It doesn't work like that because it then has no meaning. You're called Bobby Green. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this. You look very good. Zellhuber looked very shit. So give him another prospect. Let's not feed Bobby Green into the rankings. We need to use his big name for these prospects. If you can beat Bobby Green, you're legit. And if you can't, well, then you'll get done like Zellhuber will, and you're clearly not good enough. So for Zellhuber, the UFC may cut him. What's the point? He's young. He's a big name in Mexico, so that may be why they keep him. But put in PFL or give him some bomb at the bottom. If they don't even trust him to beat Drakkar Klose, that could be a close fight. Drakkar Klose has the basics as well. You may see him give him a guy at the bottom like a Matt Frivola. But who else? Anyone like that? Just some bomb at the bottom of the division, or fucking cut him. I wouldn't care less if they cut him. He's not going to be anything in the division, more than likely. He showed real promise against Rubovic. Where'd that guy go? He could have beaten Esteban Rubovic, but very disappointing and wholly fraud check. He already got fraud checked. But to get fraud checked twice is fucking embarrassing. Well played, Bobby Green. Incredible performance. Yeah, looking good. Bobby Green. Edgar Chairez versus Felipe Buenas. This fight was a lot closer than I expected it to be. I did expect Edgar Chairez to go out there and steamroll Buenas. However, that didn't happen. Went all the way to a decision. Pretty back and forth fight. Split even. It was a split decision, but Chairez got the nod for that. I would have said cut Buenas, but I think we've got to keep him in the UFC just for that alone. Feed him to a up-and-comer like an Alan Nascimento. On the verge of the rankings himself. Maybe you give him a guy like that, can go out there and get a highlight reel win over him. And stake his case for a ranked opponent. Therefore, that is also why I've suggested Edgar Chairez take on the loser of Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva. Right on the 14-15 mark of the division, and let's be honest, Edgar Chairez is better than all these guys unranked right now. To be honest, guys like he's fighting, he deserves a top 15 fight, and he may not win it against either of these two, but he at least deserves the attempt to try and fight one of these guys. I could see him subbing Johnson and maybe beating Silva by decision or sub as well. Disappointing from Edgar Chairez, however. Got the job done, and I still think he deserves that ranked opponent shot, and Buenas deserves another go in the UFC. Give him a top prospect though, like a Nascimento. As there's no real name value in Buenas, there's no point in giving him layups. He's 36. Had a couple of losses in a row now. Not going to get anywhere, not going to really improve, so I just feed him to a guy like Nascimento. And Edgar Chairez looked okay, not as good as he has done. And Edgar Chairez has only ever lost in the UFC really to Van and Tyra. So give him another go against the top contender. See how he gets on. Disappointing though from Edgar Chairez. Thought we'd do better than he did. Manuel Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Now, got the pick right, but he didn't make easy work of it, Emmanuel Rodriguez. Kevin Borjas gave him major problems in the first, knocking him down. But that's going to happen to guys like Emmanuel Rodriguez. They're young, they're raw, unproven, untested. Really, they're gonna be overconfident and make mistakes and get punished for it. And fortunately for him, the level of competition was low enough to survive and get the finish in the second. So for that reason, I'm not really suggesting that the UFC push him high straight away. Give him another guy at the bottom of the division, maybe get a couple more finishes, build some confidence, improvements defensively. So I give him a guy like Luis Garul. I've seen him last weekend on the Strickland Hernandez card fight Alden Correa. I think give him another guy like Emmanuel Rodriguez. Garul's not really got too much position in the UFC to say no to opponents. He could win over Emmanuel Rodriguez. Would obviously keep him in the UFC, but I think if he lost, he'd get cut. But that'd be a good fight for Emmanuel Rodriguez. A young prospect, needs time, build up. A couple of layup fights for a guy against the guys like Garul at the bottom of the division would do him well. Because there's clear defensive question marks there. No doubt he's got potential, but he's raw at the moment and needs time to develop. So give him a guy like Garul. For the loser, Kevin Borjas. So even I took a Raw on the verge of being cut. So that's why I'm going to say you give him a guy like Matt Schnell. Sort of, this is an Apex banger right here. This stinks of prelims of an Apex card. Cut the loser. Both haven't really got much future in the UFC. So just make this fight. If it would be a boring decision win or a sub either way. Cut the loser. Not really too much to say. I don't really care, to be honest, about Kevin Borjas or Matt Schnell that whole much. Make that fight. Anyone on Matt Schnell's area for Borjas. You could even cut Borjas right now. Just give him another guy at the bottom of the barrel of the UFC or another contender. And yeah, cut him if he loses. I don't really care, to be honest, about Kevin Borjas. Emmanuel Rodriguez, good prospect, but raw. Needs time. Santiago Luna versus Pacquiao, however you say the name. The guy's shit. Cut him from the sport. Inactive as fuck, not skilled. Got a good heart. Take a punch, got a good chin, I'll give him that. I think that's out. They may keep him for that. Get rid. No future in the UFC. Santiago Luna, on the other hand, did look good. You know, didn't get the finish he would have been after, but showed good fight IQ, composure to tone it down when he knew the finish weren't there. To be fair, a guy like Pacquiao is hard to get rid of. Guys like that are good chin, very durable, so decision win isn't a bad. It's not like he went out there against Jose Medina and took him to decision, or a Tricoli, a guy like that. Pacquiao's not bad, he's not a complete can, he's just not UFC level, you know what I mean? So it's a pretty decent fight. I mean, Luna just out-volumed him, hurt him to the body a couple of times. But a lack of experience stopped him from getting the finish. He's only young, 8-0 in the sport, not much experience. So I think we build him up slowly. You give him another unk, maybe like a Pedro Munoz, someone that can test him and punish him if he makes basic mistakes. But you should beat a guy like Pedro Munoz. Yeah, a guy like Pedro Munoz would be a good matchup for him. Seems to be a solid striker. I don't know why he kept on trying to grapple with Pacquiao. He's stunning him on the feet. Kept shooting takedowns. Maybe he just wanted to show off and show that he could grapple, to be fair. So, Luna's a good prospect. Maybe a bit pillow-fisted, but Pacquiao was pretty solid. So that's a bit harsh maybe, but keep building him slowly. Give him guys like Pedro Munoz and cut Pacquiao. There's no point keeping him. If you're going to keep him, give him another prospect like Luna. Yeah. Pretty solid fight. Clearly Luna was going to win. Pacquiao was too solid to get finished. Yeah, that was about it really. Luna just out-volumed him, outstruck him. For some reason kept shooting takedowns on Pacquiao when he had a clear advantage on the feet. Nevertheless, good win from Luna. Gandra versus Medina. Why was Medina in the UFC in the first place? Hunter Campbell, any matchmaker sitting there. We've got a guy here, Jose Medina. He's lost 4 times, all by knockout. In about 2 minutes. You know what? Let's keep him. You know, the kid's got potential. Let's keep him. What did you expect to happen? Who does Gandra know at the UFC? I generally think I could beat Jose Medina at this rate. The guy has no output. He literally goes in there, takes it like a good boy. Maybe he's got some sort of pain kink where he just likes getting beaten up. Who knows? We don't really know how good Gandra is either. The fight started, he backed Medina up. Just threw a fucking nice bomb. I actually can't remember the punch that put him down. Might have been a right hook or an overhand. Just one punch is all it took, really. Medina can eat a few because he's tough like that. He's from them, that sort of region. They've got good chins mostly. Gandra put him down, knocked him out in 42 seconds. So Gandra could be the best fighter in the world, or he could be a complete can. We don't know really. So cut Medina, fucking ice, go and deal with Medina, get him out of the UFC. For Gandra, we don't know how good he is, so don't give him a top prospect because he'll lose probably. So give him a guy mid to low level, like a Dustin Stoltzfus. All 3 levels here. Dustin Stoltzfus is pretty low level. Cesar Almeida's okay. Same with Tulia. We don't know how good he is. 42 seconds is all it lasted. Cut Jose Medina. Aline Perez versus Mrs. Bad to the Bone. Aline Perez showed that she could be beaten in that first round. Macy Chiasson out-grappled her in that first round. People are going to forget about that. Aline Perez is not that good at fighting. She just has a nice arse. She's not good looking. She just has a nice arse. Very mid fighter. She'll never touch the belt, more than likely. She's got good grappling herself, but she can be out grappled as shown by Macy Chiasson. Striking is very low level, as expected with a low level as a mid MMA women's MMA fighter. Macy Chiasson did well in the first, got out grappled in the third. It was more of a fucking grappling fight. Oh, the referee, by the way, in this fight, what a retard. Leave that bum in Mexico. Don't smuggle him into America. Don't ever let him fight ref a UFC card again. You've got two I'm 95% sure it was this fight. If it wasn't this fight, this is relevant to whatever fight it was. They get it up against the cage, 5 seconds, they're holding him there. Let's work, let's work. Where was that guy in the main event where Moreno was trying to do it for 3 straight rounds? What are you doing, you utter taco? Fuck off out the sport. Nevertheless, Aline Perez called out Tracy Cortez. If they want to do that matchup, do that matchup. It's the two most. This is a gooner's dream. Aline Perez, Tracy Cortez. Neither of them are good looking. They just have nice asses. But if you want to actually build her up in her weight class, if the UFC want to build her up, give her Yana Santos. That's an easy way to get her in the top 5. Yana Santos isn't that great, pretty old. A winnable fighter for Aline Perez. She gets nowhere near Kayla Harrison or Nunes, anyone like that in the division though. She's got her grappler's not good enough to make up for her poor striking, and she gets out grappled by a woman like Kayla Harrison. Woman like Kayla Harrison. The loser, Chiasson, give her a prospect in the division like a Jocelyn Edwards. See if Jocelyn Edwards is legit. Give her a step up. He destroyed Nora Canole, looked good in that fight. Macy Chiasson just looks pretty mid. She's lost her top level comp. Striking isn't really there. She's predominantly a grappler, but she's not got the best grappling herself. She can get out grappled herself, as we've seen Aline Perez do to her the last 2 rounds of that fight. Not the most exciting fight. I spent most of that recap talking about Aline Perez's arse and the shit referee, and that's just all about a women's MMA fight. Quinones versus Matinho. There's proof as to why Matinho should have never been re-signed. The guy's utter shit. Shouldn't have been in the UFC ever again. After he lost to Cameron Molemaker in about a minute and a half with a basic fucking hook. The guy has no head movement. Watching that, he's literally like he's never had a fucking boxing session or footwork session in his life, just trudging forward at Quinones whilst Quinones pops him off with a jab. Quinones isn't good either, by the way. How are you not finishing Matinho? Just sitting there laying on guard in bottom position, trying to get a leg lock over Chris Matinho. I know it was the other way around, I apologise. Stalling out a fight with Chris Matinho. What are you doing, mate? Get up and KO him, you shit. So, cut Chris Matinho. Guy's a bum. Don't want to sound like Colby Covington. I don't ever want to see him in the UFC again. He's proved that he's not UFC level. He may go on the regional scene and beat up some cans, but never sign him again unless he goes on a fucking 55 win streak. Quinones, let's not even bother trying to build him up. He's not elite either. Just give him a guy like Beksa Almacan who had a close fight with Alexandre Topuria. That'd be a decent fight. I quite like Beksa Almacan. It's a winnable fight for Beksa Almacan. His name, however, makes it sound horrible whenever you talk about him. Beksa Almacan, Beksa Almacan. Yeah, not a great fight. Cut Matinho, give Quinones a guy pretty mid in the division like Beksa Almacan, because Quinones isn't great either. Very boring fight. Quinones, as expected, just went out there and used the basics, like I said earlier with Bobby Green. Just use the basics on Chris Matinho. Chris Matinho doesn't know how to move his head or grapple really. Pull in leg locks and shit like that. That's not going to work unless you set it up properly. Got to be a jiu-jitsu specialist to do that. You've got to be a Charles Oliveira type fighter to do that. Very boring, easy win for Quinones. Cut Matinho, not good enough. Javier Reyes versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. That's pretty entertaining fight, to be fair. I did pick Douglas Silva de Andrade. I thought he would outlast Javier Reyes. What was I thinking? The guy's 41 or 40. Did drop him early though. Dropped him early. I thought it was what's the word? An early stoppage. 0 seconds left, and he's just patting him on the head lightly like this. Yes, it's an awful look for the ref, but he wasn't out. He wasn't hurt badly. Just let it go into the second. Yes, he's protecting the fight. He's an old guy, but he wasn't out. Nevertheless, Reyes probably would have won even if the fight did continue on. Andrade dropped him badly early to start. Quick start. You have to start quick if you're old because you're gas. But Reyes overcome it, and he's not great. Let's be honest. You can't. Didn't look too good. Doesn't train at the best of gyms, so he doesn't get the best sparring partners. So on paper, you'd assume he's not really going to improve as much. From a small gym like that, when you're the best fighter, if he's the best fighter in the gym, God knows who he trains with. So I don't really see him going much further in the UFC. No offense, he could prove me wrong. He's 32 years of age though, so he's not exactly young. So I think Douglas Silva de Andrade should retire. He's getting too old, not got the fast twitch muscle fibers needed to be successful in high level MMA in 2026. The guys are too good for him now. He can't make 135 anymore. Too old, just retire. Unless you need the money, then stay or go and fight in some other promotions and make some easy bread against some bums. For your own health, Douglas. Douglas, yeah, me like Douglas. Uh, yeah, Reyes doesn't look too great. I say give him a guy like Christian Rodriguez. I've seen people online say give him guys like Morgan Charrier. Morgan Charrier absolutely dusts him up. Relative ease. Charrier's very underrated. I know he's lost to Melchizedek Costa and Nathaniel Wood, but he didn't make it easy for Nathaniel Wood. Or Costa. Well, no, he did make it easy. Costa had kicked him in the first round. What was that? But C-Rod's known for winning fights against prospects. He's a pretty low level guy, so is Reyes. It'd be an even matchup, and if Reyes can go out there and get another highlight reel, the UFC may have a star on their hands. I just don't think he's that good, to be honest. Yeah, Andrade dropped him early. He then dropped Andrade, and the age played a big factor. Andrade isn't as durable as he once was, and Reyes got the stoppage, a buzzer beater. I thought it was a bit early, but who cares what I think? I'm a bum in my bedroom talking about this sport. And yeah, I want to see Andrade retire. He's not going to be successful in modern day MMA. Reyes, give him a guy like C-Rod, mid to low level guy in the division. See if he's really good enough to beat a guy similar to his age and ability. Tarin versus Karakate, however you say her name, I've forgotten. A fucking war, to be fair. You rarely see that in WMA. Tarin, she can bang in the pocket. Hell of a chin on her, same as Karakate. A good fight. Lots of high output, pretty low level striking, not a lot of KO power, pop on the feet, but it was a okay watch for a typical WMA unranked fight. Not too much skill on show, just a lot of heart and durability from Tarin. She looked pretty good on the feet. Short notice for her. So maybe you could expect her to do better in a full camp fight. I'm not going to pretend I know that much about low level WMA to pick a next matchup, and I'm sure none of you really care either who these two women fight next. Tarin's got a lot of hype. Let me just get this straight. She's not that good looking. Karakate, I don't care what she does, or Tarin really. Maybe just make sure you give Tarin a layup because she's got a bit of hype, undefeated, pretty young. So yeah, just try and build her up a bit. I don't really care that much though. Yeah, decent fight, high output, bit of a war to be fair. Good fight. Silva versus Marshall on the other hand, cut Silva, didn't fight for a couple of years, just go out there and get subbed in the first. The guy shouldn't have been on the roster, you should have cut him ages ago. Very mid. Goes out there, loses to, I'm pretty sure he lost to Naimov. Or one of the two guys on this card, he either lost to Naimov or he lost to Jake Hadley. Lost to Naimov, embarrassing, or Hadley, embarrassing, I can't remember, don't quote me on that. Go out there and get subbed by Marshall in the first. Marshall's a good prospect, arguably Mara Santos. So maybe give Marshall. You won't need a lot of time off. Maybe give him Jack Jenkins on that JDM versus Prates card coming up. Put that on the prelims. That'd be a good fight. Two good featherweights. Marshall, good grappler. Jenkins, pretty well rounded. That'd be a decent fight if you ask me. Not really much to talk about. Marshall just went out there and took Silva down and subbed him. Rear naked choke. Easy money, as Moicano would say. However, Pinas versus Schultz. I mean, Pinas is fucking massive in this division. Pinas is big. Pinas is strong. Pinas is amazing. I love Pinas. He's so good. So big in the division. Went out there so strong. Let's be serious now. Went out there, destroyed Schultz. I picked Schultz because I assumed that he'd be able to take him down. And funnily enough, when these low-level grapplers can't take you down, they don't know how to strike. So that just shows the best base in MMA is solid striking with good defense, grappling-wise. However, we've got to build Pinas up. He's like a Teba Gautier 2.0. Give him Dusko Todorovic, just some bum. Keep the highlight reels coming. And he'll easily KO Dusko Todorovic. Schultz, if it wasn't a prospect or his debut, probably would have been cut for that. So I'll give him a guy like Eric Nolan, who was in a similar scenario, fought a big prospect, and got subbed by Angsang Ursus Rakoyev. So give him Give him Eric Nolan. I think that'd be a decent fight. Two American wrestlers, both coming off of losses to good prospects. Cut the loser. Yeah, that's my full card thoughts. Next opponents. Let me know what you guys think. Please drop a like, subscribe, follow on TikTok, the MMA, all that good stuff. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.